Hi, I'm Marla Niederer from OrsinisAngels, and in my last video I showed you this folio that I had created and introduced the project that I'm working on, which is creating a series of paper dolls that will record the different colors that I use for skin tones. So I'm experimenting with a variety of different skin tones, and I thought this would be a fun way of doing that, and then I can have it as a reference piece in the future. So when I want to replicate a certain skin tone, I'll know the colors that I used to create it. So I had mentioned in my last video that I was going to do a tutorial on how I'm creating these little reference paper dolls. So what I start out with is my templates, facial drawing faces templates, and I have these in my Etsy shop. There's a link to it in the description of this video, but you don't need to use them. They're just if, like me, getting everything in the correct position, the facial features, is a little bit of a challenge. So I developed this trick for myself, and I thought I would share it with you if you wish. But if you're really good at figuring out where facial features are, you won't need this. So I'm going to start out, since I did this is my first one and I have a 3/4 face, I'm thinking I'm going to do a front facing face. And I'm going to start here, and I'm just using a mechanical pencil, and I'm just going to trace around the oval template, and I'm going to put a little line where the red lines are so I can use it to help me with the second template. And then I'm just going to put a little line, little dots in the inner and outer corners of the eyes, draw in the nose, lips, and then go from there. Although it didn't come through, so I'm not sure what's going on here. I guess I didn't get rid of that extra little piece of cardstock. Anyway, when I'm going to go back and fix that. There. Okay, so from here, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the eye shape on the upper lid. And I'm going to decide how I want her looking. So I do believe this one is front facing, so I think I'm just going to do that where the eyes are looking straight on. And I'm just going to draw the little circles. And set that aside. And what I kind of want to do is give her a larger forehead. And I think I want her to have some nice cheeks. And a little longer chin. and just erase the excess lines. And I can play with this a little bit. If I don't like it, I can change it around. I'm just putting in her nostrils and the flare of her nose. And I think I'm going to give her some ears. And then I'm going to work on her mouth. And her hair. I'm just going to put where the sunshine's coming from. Okay, and that's my basic sketch, and I will get my watercolors and come right back. Okay, and I think I'm gonna, I'm gonna keep track of my colors over here, and then I'll have the paper doll and I'll have a record of what I did. So I think what I'm going to start out with, I'm not even sure what kind of brush this is, but I absolutely love it. It's by Escoda. It's a synthetic brush, but it really is amazing. It's called Versatile, and I think it's got like kind of like a dagger tip, and I just really love it for doing small things. So I think what I'm going to start out with is, I think I'm going to start out with a graphite gray, and this is a Daniel Smith color. So I'll start out here just to put it down, and start adding some shading. And the light's coming from here, so there'll be more shadow on that side than on this, because I drew the little sun to remind me where the colors or the light is coming from. And before this dries too much, add a little water. And I really do like the Daniel Smith graphite gray. So like if you wanted to do something that had a lot of shading, it's kind of good to help you get your values in first. But with watercolors, I try to soften the edges with water, and I like to use a lot of layers, so I like to use a paper that's able to tolerate that and a lot of water, and one of those is the Arches. It's kind of my favorite brand of paper. And I really, when I'm doing watercolors, small sized watercolors, I typically don't use black. I'll use a gray, I'll use like Payne's gray, and but I don't use a lot of black watercolor. I might use black ink. And again, I'm still using the graphite gray and just adding some of my values where the flesh tone will be. Now, when you put wet on wet, sometimes you get those blooms, and that kind of annoys some people, but I'm going to let it dry. I'm going to use a blow dryer real quick off camera and be right back. Okay, what I use when I don't want to wait for something to dry before I add on another layer is just a plain old hair dryer. It's a brush hair dryer that I took the brush off. And it's simple, it's easy to find, and not that expensive. So I noticed when I was drying that I should have put a little bit more shadows here. And what I think I'm going to use for the next color is a quinacridone gold. And this is also by Daniel Smith. So I'm just going to add a little bit. And I don't want it very intense. Some here, so I have a record of what I did. And what I did off camera is just label the graphite and added a little water so that you can see what it looks like watered down when it's not so intense. And I think the next color I'm going to use is sepia. And this also is a Daniel Smith color. And I think I'm going to dry it again. Okay, now that that's dry again, I didn't label this, so I'll do that quick. Okay, and I'm still going to keep using this brush that I have. And I think I'm going to go in with a little bit more sepia. Oops, and that's just not dry enough. Or that wasn't. dried again. And I think what I'm going to add a little bit now is I have some Winsor & Newton burnt sienna. And I think I'm going to let that dry.